10 years, three losses, and the third one coming against Australia today. Uh, India hasn't performed up to the mark. India hasn't certainly been the India that we know on this pitch. But as we have spoken so many times on this podcast, when it's such kind of pitches, raging turners, it's anybody's game. It's a lottery game. And I have with me Charbel here, who's really happy today after the first two losses. And he's smiling. It's a big smile
Smile.
from ear to ear, and we'll get
Yeah.
his thoughts on today's win, and I'll let him do most of the speaking today.
That was awesome. Talk about the pitch backfiring on you. To lose inside the lunch on the third day. That's unbelievable. But when I look at Australia, I go, that's a thoroughly deserved win. Apart from what half an hour yesterday with the collapse, 6 for 11, Australia completely dominated the test. Let's be real. Apart from that, 6 for 11. I know it's a big collapse, but apart from that, I thought the team played brilliantly, and the bowling from line we talked about yesterday, but the batting today I thought was brilliant. The way they took their time early, weathered the storm, and then there was the change of ball that brought about a few more loose deliveries from the Indian bowlers, and then took advantage of it. You could start to play a bit more freely because you've got more of a sense of what's happening on the pitch. They played brilliantly. Head and Labuschagne, take a bow. Awesome.
I think you speak about 6 for 11, but I think putting that in context of the game, of the way India played, that six for 11, India would have liked that to happen around when the score was around, let's say, 120. But that happened when the
Correct.
score was, the lead had
Yeah.
already passed 75, and the score was, 180, 190. So
So I look at that partnership between Green and Hanscom yesterday
yep,
as crucial as well. They batted 1 hour and put 30 runs in that
yep.
hour. So you look at that, that's very important in the context of the game. And just Cameron Green's inclusion in the team just gives it so much more balance. You can play those three spinners. That's my son there. He's also very happy. Um, and but you can also play the three spinners with confidence, and all three of them contributed in this
Yeah.
test match.
And
So
look, I think
bloody
from
amazing.
from your point of view, you put Hanscom and Green partnership as sort of the game changing, if you can say so. But from me, from an Indian fan's perspective, I think that it was the Labuschagne and Khawaja partnership that
Of course.
really,
No
that
ball
was
by
the,
Jadeja.
yeah, that
Mm.
was really what took the game apart from
Yep.
India. Especially, you say as a team sport, we have played enough cricket as well. um you don't blame like on one particular player on or one moment, but I think that no ball from Jadeja to Labuschagne, and that him getting pulled of it, that proved to be the game changing moment in my opinion. If
Yep.
Labuschagne falls at that point, it was 15 for 2 and the game was absolutely wide open.
Could have been
Um,
very different. And
exactly.
I do know, I see that, a lot of talk of Marnus, oh, one of the luckiest players ever. Sure, he's had luck in his test career at times, but I think the
He
way
let's be honest, he's had plenty of luck. Like,
he's had plenty of luck, but I'll talk about in the context of this series, you've still got to go and bat well after you get bowled off the no ball.
yeah,
And that's not easy to do on this pitch.
yeah.
You can't just tell someone, okay, go bat 90 balls now on that surface after you get bowled off the no ball. So I think the way Marnus has played in this series, what's he averaging now for the series? He's hit, I think, 330 plus scores
Yeah,
and then a 20 odd not out
yeah.
today. That's a
So
good
he's
effort.
been there and thereabouts, but that, to be honest, what has happened is Australian players have somehow played spin better than the Indian players. In where I say why I say
Not
this is
always.
not always, but why I say this is because uh, the way Indian batters have been playing spin, it's more of a technical fault because they are still in that pre-DRS era where they put the bat next to the pad, and let the ball hit the pad sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Whereas in this
Yeah.
time,
Interesting.
in the
Mm.
DRS times, you have to get the bat in front of the pad, because as soon as the ball hits the pad, it's anyone's game with with the
Yeah.
DRS in play.
Of
Because
course.
even if the umpire gives it not out, there's a high chance it'll be reviewed. If you're, and on these slow pitches, slow and low pitches, the ball is always going to stay low, and it is more often than not going to hit the stump. So, and look, I think India has to be a bit more flexible with their plans, because they have been really rigid in this test match. We saw that with the batting number of Aksar. We saw that with bowling changes when it comes to,
Agree.
things not working out for some bowlers. And
Yeah.
you could almost go as far as saying, Ashwin and Jadeja just won't let the ball to any other bowlers. And that's sort of forcing Rohit Sharma's hand as to where, how does he tell two senior experienced veterans to sort of let the ball go, and when they have done the job previously, but when things don't go according to plan, you have to be flexible enough. You have to be sort of the authority figure, whoever that is. Even if it was a 25-year-old youngster captaining, we would say the same thing, because he's a captain for the reason. He has to show authority over any of his peers, because he's the captain, and he has been appointed that for doing so. And the second point I would like to just point out, it's only the third loss in 10 years in 44 tests from March of 2013 till now. It's only the third loss for India. That's a massive domination. That's some domination from India. So just wanted to say this to the fans, that let's be practical, let's be constructive in the criticism, but let's not abuse. It's only the third loss. These one-off losses will keep coming every now and then. And it's good. It's good to keep the team grounded. It's good to have that sort of cricket, that sort of, any sport is the same, where you sort of start flying too high and it will try and pull you down.
Sorry, my son's very happy at the moment. I think he knows Australia got the win. You can hear him. But I do talk about the captaincy. I think Steve Smith's captaincy in this test is. This is why I wanted him to be skipper when Tim Payne, was relinquished to the captaincy that time, because Smith is a terrific captain and is an excellent tactician. I thought he got most of his decisions spot on. His bowling changes I thought were very good. He mixed it up. He didn't let the Indians settle. I think his field positionings were very good for the most part. It was fantastic to have him as captain again in this. And one thing I will say is I believe the groundsman, curator, India have underestimated what Australia's spinners can do on this. I think when you produce a pitch like that, you're only thinking about what your spinners can do to the opposition, but not necessarily what the opposition can do to your batsmen as well. And it's not as if, to your point earlier, it's not as if the Indian top 6, top 7 have been setting the world on fire lately. There's been a big problem with the lack of top order runs from India in this series. And that's why I look at sort of Manas's performance in this series. He's shown good resistance. It's not easy. And the average that he's put in this series, has achieved in this series, is well above the series average for top 7 players. And that shows you're a good player. Despite the luck he's had at times, he's a very good player. And very thrilled for Travis Head. I think of the blunder of leaving him out of the team in the first test. And Australia's collapse in Delhi could have been very different this series. Ravi Shastri hit the nail on the head in commentary. He said, Australia have not leveled this series, sorry. They've gone 2-1 in this series now. Imagine what they could have done in Delhi when they had a great opportunity in that test match. The series could have looked very different. But now, go to the 4th test and give it your absolute best in that one, and who knows what can happen. There's going to be confidence with the team now. So great win. And off to the World Test Championship final now. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and coming to the 4th test, obviously from an Australian point of view, I don't see any changes coming.
Neither do I.
But from an Indian point of view as well, I think the side playing 11 will stay the same. I don't see any changes happening. I hope they play Umesh Yadav again. He has been brilliant in this test.
Maybe Siraj will have a rest.
Maybe Siraj will have a rest. Yeah, you're right. Maybe Siraj will have a rest and Shami will come back. Hopefully, let's see what happens. But whatever happens, it's going to be a cracking test, and we are going to be here again doing this on day 1, and hopefully on day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5 as well. So we hope that we don't hope, but let's see what happens if the test goes on for 5 days or not.
Hopefully we get a cracking close test. It's been very quick finishes in this series and all that sort of stuff. But I hope we get a good pitch that allows. It spins on day 1, that's fine. But an equal battle between bat and ball, and a cracking match. But I'm proud of the team for Australia. They played very well in this game.
Absolutely.
Apart from maybe half an hour yesterday. Other than that,
Yeah,
They stayed patient with the ball, and the way those two batted today, they played straight, they got into their rhythm, and then when the opportunities came, they took advantage and scored the runs. It was brilliant.
absolutely. And yeah, so as I said, we'll be here doing this again for the fourth test, for the final test. And thank you to all the listeners. Thank you to Charbel. A big congratulations to Charbel and all the Australian fans on the win. They have inflicted
Yeah.
India's third loss in 10 years at home, and it's been a massive convincing victory for Australia. So congratulations on that, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you again. Keep watching us, keep listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe, like, and share as well. Thank you, and take care.